Hey, wrestling fans, welcome to the One Wing Wrestling Podcast, where we help you navigate the complex world of pro wrestling, bringing you the best matches, world class wrestlers, and news you can count on. At One Wing Wrestling, we bring the elite to you. I'm your host, Krishna Dhanai, and joining me, as always, is Mr. Bill Cupbush. Bill, how's it going?
It's going pretty well for a Monday,
Mm, it's Monday.
Decent weekend, lots of sunshine, pretty cool. Didn't get up too much though. What about you?
It's weird, but you said that because I was in a meeting today with someone else, and that's the same thing they said. They were like, it's nice and sunny outside. The weekend was kind of sunny too, opposed to the gloomy weather, I guess. I'm like, was it really gloomy? We've had a lot of rain and stuff like that recently, I guess. I said I couldn't complain because, it's rain, not snow. So I was cool with that. Even though I like the snow, I just don't like driving in it. But then again, I forgot where I lived. So when it rained, obviously it was as bad as driving in the snow with the Toronto drivers here. So yeah, no. Really calm weekend. Didn't really do much, I should say. Relaxing from the whole winter break, kind of getting rejuvenated now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just odd to get that one weekend where I didn't have anything to do, which was kind of weird, right? Because
yeah,
normally
yeah,
there's
yeah.
always something to do, somewhere to go. I mean, I did hang out with my friends on Sunday that I haven't seen in a while. That's something, but still nothing major.
Yeah, I just watched a lot of wrestling.
Well, there you go. There you go.
So on that note, we should get into it. And what we
Mhm.
do in our weekly show, as most of our good listeners know, we're going to look at some news. We're going to look at what happened in AEW. We're going to look at what's going on in Japan. And why do we do all of this? Well, we do it because largely there's a ton of wrestling out there, and we
Mhm.
know you guys have limited time. When it comes to wrestling, I may have a little more time because I enjoy it that much. So I sift through an awful lot of it. But my goal is to find, and Krishna's goal is to find you guys those gems among all those hours of content that you can
Mhm.
go and check out, as well as let you know what's going on in some of these leagues at the same time. So, yeah, that's what we do here. And if you like what we're doing, by all means, leave us that 5-star review on whatever podcast app you are currently using. Write us a little review. Let us know what you think. Okay, if you're on YouTube, give us the like, give us the subscription. We'd appreciate that.
Awesome.
Yep. And let's see. So, why don't we get into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, we start off the news this time with a little report that came out. I was reading it in the Observer newsletter, and I thought it'd be fun for us to discuss. Apparently, Barron's, which is a business journal, I believe,
Mhm.
is reporting that AEW is interested in buying the WWE. It reported that All Elite Wrestling is one of the companies with interest in purchasing it. Shahid Khan, Tony's father, will need or likely go and get outside financing along with AEW to make a bid. Tony Khan did not comment on this when asked, and I guess the question is, would Vince McMahon ever agree to sell the WWE to AEW?
The answer is gonna be no. I don't think so. A few things. I actually heard a report about this as well. There was a report that came out a while back that, Nick Khan was really brought in to do a deal to sell WWE in the first place. That was the main reason he was brought into WWE
Mhm.
because he always did big deals wherever he worked in. Um, and there was a rumor that went around. I don't know if it was confirmed that at the time Tony Khan's father, Shahid, is it Shahid Khan?
Yes.
Had discussed with Vince the purchase of WWE. But I think, like what people are assuming, and what some of the reports are saying is, if Vince wants to sell, Vince is going to sell probably to someone or some entity that is going to leave him in control, right?
Mhm.
I don't think that was what was going to happen with AEW or the Khan family if they had bought it. I thought it's kind of funny because people were also asking, well, would that not be considered a monopoly on wrestling? And no, I mean it's to two of the largest North American companies, but not it's not the only North American companies, right? So, and this is the thing. This is what people don't understand. Like they only see WWE and they're like, oh, well, WWE, that's it. That's all the wrestling they have. And now inkling of AEW suddenly coming out there So they're like, oh, then there's a second company, AEW. So if they joined, there'd be one company. It's like, guys, there are other wrestling companies out there, right? So many
Hundreds.
that you don't know, and that's why this would never be a monopoly. But to answer your first question, no way. This would never happen. No, okay. Let me rephrase. 90% chance or 95% chance this would never happen.
I think you're probably right, but boy, would it be fun if it did.
It'd be funny, that's for sure.
Yeah, it would honestly, it would be the best. It would be the literal best. Um, I think that may have a serious impact on AEW's booking, which I think would be to their detriment. I kind of like the fact that WWE exists right now to sort of be the vanilla, you know, run of the mill wrestling company.
Mhm.
And AEW can have the other types of matches, right? You're
Yep.
probably not going to see a death match on WWE television anytime soon.
Yep.
But you will see them, including exploding barbed wire versions. Yeah, I got to that chapter in Mox's book. It was pretty funny. Um, including the exploding barbed wire version. So yeah, it's fun to think about. But I really, because I think you're absolutely right. I said this last week too. Vince wants control of WWE. He's
Yeah.
not going to give up control of WWE. It's why he came in to facilitate the sale of the company because he wants to be left in charge. And all I can say is that may be good news for AEW fans.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean, okay. Again, as I said, listen, if there's wrestling competition,
Hmm.
then wrestling is forced to be better, right? The problem is that Vince doesn't care because Vince thinks WWE owns everything, and to a certain extent, WWE leads everything because they just have the bigger audience and so forth. So he doesn't really care. He doesn't look at anyone else as competition, right?
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, for an AEW fan or stan, if you want to call me here, I would laugh. I would just totally laugh because what I would predict that if that were to come true, if creative suddenly fell back into Vince's lap, first of all, layoffs would happen. All those wrestlers that jump ship because that's where they want to be. Where are you going to be now, right? Like I believe a few wrestlers may be reconsidering some moves they made, and people are going to jump in and say, are you referring to Cody Rhodes? I am not referring to Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes actually joined when Vince was there, so you have to remember that, right?
Hmm.
But there are other wrestlers who went back after being released by Vince because they were Triple H guys or girls, right?
Hmm.
So personally, I'm not gonna lie, I would love to see Vince in charge again because I think it'll be absolutely hilarious. Because but I mean, hey, AEW's where is where I want to be. I think Tony Khan had the tweet of the week last week when he said, I've suddenly become the most popular guy in wrestling because everyone is calling him up and stuff like that after the Vince rumors, or I should say, not even the Vince rumors. It was the sale rumors. But yeah, you're right. As a WWE as an AEW fan, do I care about this? No. As a wrestling fan, I do because this is going to change the landscape of wrestling, right? So I don't know. I don't know
I
what to
don't know if it's
think.
going to change the landscape that much. I think we all like to jump on the, this is going to change everything,
Mhm.
and I don't necessarily think it's going to. Whoever owns WWE in the end, whether Vince is in charge or not, they forget that there is a large complacent fan base out there that's just going to watch
Yeah.
the WWE no matter what product they stick on a screen, right? It's
Yep.
really hard to pry
Yep.
those people away because it's just what they're used to. So they're going to sit there and watch what they're used to. You know, I continue to hope that shows like ours, shows like others that talk about New Japan, that talk about AEW, that talk about the great wrestling you can see in Mexico and the
Mhm.
UK and Germany and places like that can inspire people, especially to go check out your local indies. I mean, they need your support. The WWE does not. Go to a local indie show, see what the wrestling's like there, enjoy yourself, and maybe you'll find that there is life outside of the WWE. But I suspect I'm preaching to the choir for anyone listening to this. So, anyway, um, One gentleman, though, did opt not to go to WWE when he recently left AEW, and he went off to Impact instead. And I'm talking
Hmm.
about Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah, this is kind of sad. Like, sorry, I can't. I should say it's bittersweet because we saw Frankie Kazarian wrestle live at an event we went to, an OWE event a couple years back. Um, and he's always been part of SCU, Kazarian, Daniels, Sky. Um, and he's an AEW original. Like, we have to remember that. And this is what hurts is like you see these AEW originals leaving. And that's what affects me. If people come and go, that's fine. But it's when the originals leave. And when you read the Young Bucks book and you find out they were friends, they met on the indie scene, they stayed close together, they've all helped each other. This is not something the Young Bucks probably wanted, right? But in Kazarian's defense, he's not really getting that much screen time. There's so
No.
many other things happening. So, you know what? I'm happy for him if he can go to Impact and he can get more screen time, get more wrestling matches on TV and stuff like that. By all means, go do it. Like that's your livelihood there, right? So yeah, it sucks that Frankie Kazarian was has left AEW, but who knows? Who knows how long, right?
Mhm.
Who knows? So good luck, Frankie. We'll miss you. I kind of feel like you were underutilized, to be honest. Like you can give so much more. Just kind of sucks. Just kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, I see where you're coming from, and I agree. I mean, he disappeared. He
Hmm.
flatly disappeared. He became like the elite basher or whatever it
Hmm.
was there for a little while.
The elite hunter or something like
Yeah,
that.
the elite hunter, and then he hunted the elite for like 2 weeks, and then apparently he decided that the elite only existed in, dark elevation and dark, and he couldn't find them, so
Maybe
he
it's like you
just
couldn't
kept
find them.
beating
Yeah,
other
he's looking
guys
in
up.
dark.
Yeah, exactly. And then Kenny showed up, just in time for in dark, just in time for Kazarian to leave. So yeah, it sucks, but I don't blame him either. You got to go where you can actually get some work and do something where you feel like you're contributing and stuff. So power to him. And he did say that WWE treated him with nothing but respect. They were professional, but he opted to go to Impact because I'll bet, if he wants to be used and he wants big matches, he's not going to get those in WWE either. So
I think you said WWE treated him with respect. I was like, nope. You mean AEW treated him with respect?
no, I meant WWE in the negotiations because
Oh,
Arian came out and said that they treated him with respect and they were very
okay.
professional to him. Yep. No, I actually meant WWE
Oh,
because it was
damn.
when he was negotiating. Yeah, he
Oh,
came
that's
out
right.
and
He,
said that.
but you know what? I mean, like, if you think about it, like, let's be real here.
Hmm.
Kazarian is a good mid card guy,
Yeah.
mid card, right?
Hmm.
The WWE have a lot of mid card guys, and
Yes.
this is the problem right now. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
Vince was stockpiling talent, but they weren't doing anything. They were all just sitting at home doing nothing, right?
Hmm.
It's like, do you want that? I mean, if that's what you want, sure. But I think a guy like Kazarian, he wants to be out there wrestling in front of fans, right? He wants
Yeah.
to do indie stuff. He wants to do all. So Impact seems like a good fit for him. You know what?
Yep.
I would go as far as saying, why wasn't Ring of Honor even an option?
Well,
Right?
because I mean, if you're looking at Ring of Honor right now, I mean, they
Mhm.
keep talking about it and they keep
Yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it and they keep talking about it, but where's the show?
But that's where I was gonna go, right? It's like that's the problem. Like
Hmm.
maybe it was an option, but maybe at the time it's just that is like, okay, I've waited this long. How
Yeah.
much longer do I have to wait again now for this,
Hmm.
right? So what's the purpose? So I get why he left.
Yeah, I think he prefers the big fish in a small pond thing to being just another fish swimming around a giant pond.
Yeah, an
So
elite
yeah, and in
pond.
an Impact, he can be a main event guy. So
Yeah, yeah,
there you
that's
go.
true.
Yep. Um, well, we did have a near disaster there on Rampage this week. Did you see the Willow Nightingale power bomb on Anna Jay?
So the funny thing is that that's one of the matches I'm gonna talk about
Yeah,
eventually,
I
but
figured you were going to talk about it,
yeah,
but I
but
wanted to give an update on her injury, her
so
potential
so
injury.
so I actually have it, and I actually
Hmm.
so for people who didn't watch the show, there's a spot where Willow Nightingale goes to power bomb Anna Jay off of the ramp on the stage.
Hmm.
Now it's supposed to be on a table. Now when Willow hits the power bomb, it's like a sitting power bomb, so she jumps off with her. Willow goes through the table. Anna
Hmm.
goes splat on the ground,
Yes.
and I was like, uh I'm pretty sure that table was supposed to break her fall,
And then she
right?
never appeared in the match again.
And then she never appeared in the match again. Exactly. And I was like, is she okay? Because right at that, then they focus strictly on Ty
Mhm.
and Ruby, right? And oh my God, I didn't realize. Are you sure she didn't? Yeah, you're
Yep.
right. She
I'm
didn't.
completely positive.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Okay. Yeah. So sorry. Go ahead.
No, no,
So
and
what was the
yeah,
update?
apparently it has been reported in the Observer on the Wrestling Observer radio that she is in fact okay.
Okay.
So
Good.
she's
Good.
suffering no ill effects from it or something
Good.
like that. I don't know if
Good.
those were their exact words, but that she's fine.
Good.
So she
No.
should be back. That is good news because that was a horrific bump. I mean, to completely miss the table and basically eat the concrete past the table. Ow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Mm-hmm. And again, I'll talk about after, but that
Mhm.
wasn't the only big bump she took. She took
Mhm.
that what was it, suplex kind of like spike pile driver onto the apron from Willow
Mhm.
Nightingale right before she took that power bomb. So I'm like,
Mhm.
what the hell is going on right now?
Anna Jay
Even
is
Jericho,
dead. Yeah.
yeah, even Jericho was like, this is insane. What's
Mhm.
happening right now? So yeah, it was quite the match.
Yep.
Yes,
I've never seen the person doing the power bomb off the stage use the table to break their own fall
their own
before.
fall,
Yeah.
their own
I'm
fall.
gonna break my own fall. Person eats the thing.
Why
Yeah.
didn't you just powerbomb her by herself onto the table? You
Mhm.
probably have better chance of hitting the table than like she
100%.
totally missed it.
Oh yeah. If she'd thrown
Totally
her off
missed
the
it.
stage, she would have hit the table if she
Yeah,
wanted to. Yeah.
totally missed it. And
Mhm.
that was one of my one like flaws on that match was just like
Mhm.
I get the big spots, but these are the things I'm talking about that's unneeded,
Yeah.
right? Like
100%. 100%. Yep. But we will get to that when you
we'll
get to
get that
that
in a
match. I
second.
just
We'll get
wanted
that
to bring up
second.
the
Yeah.
injury update in case
Okay.
people
Cool.
are wondering what happened
Cool.
to Anna Jay. The only other news item that I had before we turn to see if Dhanai has a dirt sheet for me this week is Jade Cargill is now being touted as the longest reigning AEW champion, breaking Hikaru Shida's record. She has now had 19 defenses in, I guess, what is now 300 and I guess 75 days since that announcement,
Something like
74.
that.
Yeah, anyway, she's in the 370s anyway. So basically, she defends the title every 20 days on average. So great title reign there by Jade Cargill, where her toughest opponents she's ever faced are Nyla Rose and Athena. 19 defenses.
19 defenses.
Yeah.
That's in over a year. 300 what? 373
73 days.
days over a
Yep.
year.
Yep. And that's not bad. I mean, an average Stardom champion will do, say, 12 defenses a year, maybe.
So once a month.
Yeah, around once a month, maybe. But every defense is a huge deal for these almost every defense. It's not too often you get a throwaway opponent,
Yeah.
right? And I mean, and even when they have one, they make the opponent tough. You know what I mean? And I'll
Yep.
be talking about something like that later in my my report from Japan. But yeah, for one thing, this is why I also say they need to start going to number of defenses rather
Yep.
than length of time. All right. I mean, I wonder, well, if anyone else, like how when Hikaru Shida had her reign with the women's championship,
Hmm.
right? I wonder how many defenses she had. I don't
A
know.
lot. I think
Yeah,
she
I
had a
don't
lot.
know. But that
Yeah.
it would be a very interesting statistic to check out. But yeah, I find this whole Jade Cargill reign just keeps getting more and more silly. Like, oh, she's the longest reigning champion, but she's beat up a bunch of people on like Dark Elevation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will. That's it. Like squash matches. Like nothing. And
yeah.
even on Dynamite, they'll still have a squash match, and you're
Hmm.
like, really? You're having a match against someone I've never heard of in my life?
Hmm.
Okay.
And she does things like, here we go. She had a TBS title eliminator and defeated Sky Blue. Then, a few months later, she defeats Sky Blue in a title match anyway, right? Madison Rain.
Hmm.
Really? Madison Rain.
Yeah.
Marina Shafir. AQA. Julia Hart before she joined the House of Black, right? Oh, it's just the list of her opponents is just, okay. I mean, and nothing against these women, but none of them are like Sky Blue, I think is great. Ty Conti's come a long way, right? Anna Jay, she's getting better. But none of them are what I'd call high caliber
Yeah.
opponents for a title.
Agreed. No, I
Yeah,
agree.
anyway. Yeah, I just had to get in my weekly bitch against Jade Cargill. So, I'm sure I'll have more on Wednesday, but I had to say something tonight anyway. So, you got any dirt sheet for me this week tonight?
Um, yeah, I got a couple things. First off, what are your thoughts on the reports that Jay White is leaving? That match is coming up, Jay White versus Hikuleo, whoever the loser
Hmm.
leaves. Jay White is leaving. Now, reports are he was headed towards WWE, but since the current situation, more likely headed towards AEW. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I find it kind of surprising that it's not Hikuleo leaving town, first of all.
Same.
Yeah, like in all honesty, I could see Hikuleo leaving town and him going to WWE because that would
Mhm.
just make sense for him. Um, Jay White, I mean, if what he wants is to appear on the biggest stage, well, I mean, that's still WWE. I'm not gonna lie. It is the biggest stage, and you can appear there, yes. Um, Jay White could probably have some decent matches against like a Seth Rollins.
Mhm.
But in today's climate, where do I think he'd go? Well, I really don't want him to come to W or to AEW, right? Because I don't need another roster spot taken up.
Yep.
We have enough people, it's hard now to find space for everybody. We've got the Kazarians of the world leaving.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, but do I think it's likely? I think it's very likely he could come to AEW, to be quite honest. He's got charisma, he's got presence, he's got an attitude, he's got all the stuff. He's got some guys here. He's got Juice
Mhm.
Robinson here, right? So, I mean they've got the burgeonings of a little group for him too, and we'll see what happens, and maybe they can pit the elite against them and kill them all. I don't know.
Maybe. Maybe.
It's because
Remember,
you've almost got a trios with them with Juice, him, and they just need one more guy. Maybe Hikuleo can come with them.
well, that plus, if Kyle O'Reilly gets better whenever he gets better, him, Cole, and maybe someone like him, right?
Ah,
That could
Adam
also be Adam
Cole,
Cole. Adam Cole's back,
yes.
right?
Adam Cole, Jay White would be a good match.
Hmm.
That would be a
They
good
need a
match.
rematch after that,
Yeah,
the match that was at
exactly.
Forbidden Door, right?
Yeah. No, it's because it's not like Jay White's terrible. I mean
But
he's
he's
not
not.
he's
He's
not
not.
Kenny Omega,
I
but I
know.
mean
Yeah, he's
he's not bad.
yeah, not bad.
So yeah, I think he's better than like an Ethan Page, for example. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
anyway, and again, it's not that Ethan Page is bad. He's just decent.
He's decent. Yeah.
Yes.
Um, in a recent interview, not really an interview, on Conan's podcast, Bill, keeping it 100, him and Disco Inferno,
Oh God.
they actually started talking about Wardlow. And they said, is it possible? And this is what they believe based on
Hmm.
how he was booked and what happened to him, that he's got some heat on him. Now, the reason they're saying that is because Wardlow was booked to the moon,
Hmm.
and then he cleanly lost against Joe,
Hmm.
right? Got choked out, got his hair cut, and then the next week Joe just loses to Darby Allin.
Hmm.
So they were like, if they were, and they kind of said he lost to like a 164-pound guy. Anyways, besides the point. But it's a good point. Wardlow was pushed to the moon. Do you think that Wardlow has some heat on him, or is it possible that Tony Khan is trying to course correct here? He's realized, hey, yeah, his character, people are cheering for him, but it really wasn't going anywhere.
Here's what's most likely in my mind. Okay, because does he have heat on him in the back room? I mean, that's just those two guys trying to generate crap. Because that kind of reporting where it's like, there's crap in the back room, there's heat on people in the back room, it's all in this back room stuff.
Mhm.
That's the CM Punk Young Bucks level of garbage that we just don't need unless it's fact, absolute 100% fact, right? That's something that I think people need to be very careful reporting and speculating whether or not there
Mhm.
might be heat. I haven't read anything like that from like Sean Ross Sapp. I haven't
Yep.
heard anything like that from Dave Meltzer. So I sincerely doubt that that's what's going on. What is more likely then? Because you're right, you did give a scenario. Can we explain it better? yes, Tony Khan is not a super experienced booker.
True.
Okay. He has made some mistakes in the booking in AEW. In spite of the people around him, you know, there have been mistakes, right? A classic mistake, Bow Wow and Jade Cargill. Whatever happened to that? Oh, it just disappeared. Thank God. But in this case, Wardlow, they had the opportunity around Cody, right? It was not Cody, House of Black. Who did he beat? I'm getting completely my plot lines messed up now.
He beat for the title.
Yeah, when he
It,
was really big.
he had. I think it was it Sammy that had the belt?
MJF.
Oh, was it MJF had the? Oh,
Yes.
no, sorry.
Wasn't
Yes,
the
he beat
title, but
MJF.
he beat
He beat
MJF, and
MJF.
he was
Yes,
just
yes,
tremendously over at that
yes,
point.
yes.
Hugely over. And then they did nothing with him. They stuck him in some like nothing feud. He was beating up like 20 security guards and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And his power just went away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's never recovered. Right.
Yep.
That has nothing to do with him having heat on in the back. It's just the result of some really bad booking decisions around Wardlow. Now, I've been the beneficiary of this because it meant I didn't have to see Wardlow constantly pushed on the television every week. But
Mm-hmm.
that has nothing to do with the booking. Right. Now, what happened here? They have an opportunity. Darby Allin in Seattle getting the TNT title. Who can put on better matches against the majority of the roster on a title that needs to be defended on TV continuously? Darby Allin
Darby. Yeah.
or Wardlow or Samoa Joe? You know who it is? It's Darby Allin.
Darby. Yeah.
100%.
Darby.
That's why the title's on Darby. You're right. It is a bit of a course correction. It's like we need this title on someone who can actually present it out there and give these amazing matches every week. Right. And I mean, Darby Allin, that kid can go.
Yes.
So, you know what? Great. The title's on him and we're going to get some entertainment, most weeks now with him defending this. I mean, doesn't he have an open challenge on this thing now, too? So,
yeah, he does. He actually does.
So there you go. So that's why. That's the most likely scenario. It's we want the title on Darby Allin. The easiest way to get it to Darby Allin is have him beat Joe, not Wardlow, so we protect Wardlow too. Joe beats Wardlow not so bad through cheating. Darby won't beat Wardlow through cheating.
No,
and he's probably not going to beat Wardlow. Yeah. So they needed to put the title on Joe so that Darby could take it from Joe.
That's true. Sorry, I was looking at something. I guess they released their lineup for Wednesday.
Yeah.
And there's not a trios match, Bill, but there is a match, the Young Bucks versus Top Flight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, what the hell? My goodness.
Sign me up.
Anyways, yeah, we'll talk about that on Wednesday, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, hello.
Okay.
Hello, possible match of the week.
I know.
Geez. Well, speaking of AEW, this will bring us to our AEW Roundup, Mr. Dhanai.
All right. So let's run through some of these matches quickly because, a lot of stuff happened in AEW. Like, for example, the trios titles changed hands last week to the rightful owners. Let's jump to Elevation. Okay. One comment before I announce this match. Why are these guys on Elevation? And you'll understand when I get into it. So, Pretty Peter Avalon, Ari Daivari, Ryan Nemeth, not those guys.
I was I'm pretty sure I know why those guys are on Elevation.
Versus the House of Black.
Why are they on Elevation?
Why is House of Black on Elevation? Okay, that's it. That's all I want to say. House of Black on Elevation. The crowd, when House of Black comes out, so Ari Daivari and Peter Avalon and Nemeth, they get their entrance. They actually come out. And then the House of Black comes out and the audience loses their mind.
Yep.
And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Now, I just wanted to get that in. House of Black wins this match. Ari Daivari gets absolutely destroyed with the triple team. Absolutely just killed. Yep. But I would call this match a squash match. It wasn't like they went in and just killed them. I mean, those other guys got some moves in, but it wasn't enough to be like, it was back and forth. Like it lasted a couple minutes, but definitely was not a squash match. It's kind of like, oh my God, House of Black is still strong. Why the hell are you on Elevation? That's the only. It's just baffling to me. I don't understand how to even talk about it.
Yeah.
So that match is really good. Check it out. Another match on Elevation that you probably should check out is Bandito versus Christopher Angel. Yeah, Christopher Angel, Christopher Daniels, the fallen angel.
Yes, Christopher Angel.
Wait, Christopher Angels.
Like,
Yeah, Bandito, awesome. Like you forget the Bandito how strong he actually is, right? He's actually pretty strong. Like he's basically gorilla pressed Daniels. I was actually really impressed the fact that, and again, we talked about Kazarian before. Sad when I saw Daniels on here. He's able to go still. Like he doesn't wrestle that much anymore, but Christopher Daniels is still really good in the ring.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, he trains other people, right? So knows how to put matches together. He's freaking genius. Yeah.
Yeah, so check out Match Out. As I said, it's fast. It had lucha things, which I loved. Obviously, Bandito's in it. And I put down a note that Daniels doesn't wrestle that much. Looked really good in this match. So check out those matches from Elevation. Dark. The one thing I wanted to talk about in Dark was, and you're gonna be shocked about this, Athena versus Marina Shafir. Now, this may have been Marina Shafir's best match, and I want to warn you here, though. Don't go into this match, if you're ever going to watch it, thinking Marina Shafir was the one that made the difference here, because it was not Marina Shafir. Marina Shafir did what she normally does, but Athena, with this new attitude, like when they were hitting each other, I'm like, holy crap, they're hitting each other really hard here, right? Like, yeah, Shafir sometimes has some really boring stuff, but like, I have to give props to Athena. She's really good. Like, they were hitting each other. I'm like, oh my God, these guys did, like, these strikes are landing. And she actually made Shafir look decent. Not good. Decent. Like, Shafir still, every time, like, I get it. She's a judo specialist. Is that what she is? I don't even know anymore. Mixed martial artist. And she does these throws. I get, yeah, they looked at her. But at one point, she gave a throw to Athena on the ramp, and I thought she had yanked her arm out. I was like, dude, like, I get wrestling, like, the fighting is real and scripted, but you can hurt her with the way she's doing things. It's like, come on, still don't be stupid. But anyways, if you have a chance, check it out. It's watchable. It's, again, better than anything Marina Shafir has ever done, ever, right? And unfortunately, you get Vicky Guerrero screaming out the entire time. I'm like, who's yelling in this match? And it's Vicky Guerrero.
Of course.
That being said, move on to Rampage, because we've talked about Dynamite last week. Where should I start? Oh yeah, let's start here. Okay, so another thing, Kings of the Black Throne. I love the name of that, Kings of the Black Throne. That's House of Black. So that's Brody King and Malachi Black versus Kingston Ortiz. Now, good match. Again, not a squash match, because I guess they can't have House of Black just squash Kingston.
Well, yeah,
right?
that would make sense, right? I mean, those guys are both pretty decent wrestlers.
Well, this was back and forth.
Bottom of the card, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, hard hitting. I guess they're still carrying that storyline where Kingston is breaking up with Ortiz. Like, eventually, this is
after that confusing promo from Dynamite this week.
Yeah. So it was back and forth. Like, there were points where, like, I miss Malachi Black. He's so awesome. Like, he sells so good. Like, he's such a good seller. But like, yeah, they end up winning, but they win with interference from Hartz and Matthews, right? They run out to the ring, and Buddy Matthews runs into the ring with a steel chair, which Kingston steps on. So Matthews kind of gets up, and he thinks that Malachi Black is behind him. He goes to swing, but it's actually Julia Hart, and he almost connects with her. She screams, and Ortiz gets involved, and he's like, "What are you doing?" But Kingston didn't see her, right? He didn't know it was her. So after the match, so they win. They pin Kingston and whatever. And after the match, Malachi kind of pulls Ortiz back beside him and says, "Good job." And I'm like, what is happening? And Ortiz is like, what are you talking about, right? So I'm like, this is kind of interesting. I want to see where this goes. But again, what happened to the House of Black destroying everyone? This is destroying everyone. Did they forget about that?
It was only 2 weeks, man. Like, things only exist in AEW for 2 weeks. Like, trios titles now, you won't see them for a month.
That sounds very WWE. Just throwing that out there. Moving on. I'll talk about this match first. Darby Allin, we just spoke about, versus Juice Robinson. Juice Robinson, who actually had a pretty good match on Dark as well. So if you have a chance, check that one out. But this was the better match. Darby Allin, Juice Robinson. What can I say? Juice playing the powerhouse, even though Juice is not really a powerhouse here, but right, but he's playing it because Darby Allin again weighs like 150 soaking wet. Yep. It's like one point he was literally just Darby's lying and he's just running and just dropping his body on top of Darby like multiple times. And I'm like,
he watched Stardom on the weekend. That's why
he must have. I put down here that like Robinson he's very very good, very very good. And as Jericho says, I like this guy. I really like this guy here, right? As I said, he works well. He throws his body at Darby, but we know Darby just throws everything back. Crazy finish to the match. Juice puts Darby up the top rope to give him a suplex. Darby reverses the suplex into a scorpion death drop from the top. And then hits him with the coffin drop to end the match. And I was like, that was a pretty cool finish there. Good job, guys.
Yeah,
it
sounds really good.
Yeah, so check that match. Good. Last match, I have to put it in here. Ty Mello, and Anna JAS.
I keep calling her Conti, don't I?
You say I keep calling her that too. Yeah. Versus Ruby Soho and Willow Nightingale. Now, I must say, when the women of AEW put on these matches, they go all out. I don't think I've seen a street fight match between any of the women who have fought in them that I've said that's a pretty bad match. And if I'm not mistaken, is this the second one that Ty and Anna have been part of? Second one. Okay. That's what I thought. Just started to remind myself. And that other match was pretty violent as well. Okay. At one point, Ruby gets cut open. And I mean Dustin Rhodes cut open, like dripping. That was kind of insane. I put down, shout out to Ruby for continuing the match, losing that much blood. I'm kind of wondering where the heck the doctor was to like patch that crap up. Anna, I actually taking a huge bump on the apron. That was it. Ouch. And then obviously, thankfully she's okay. And I put down scary moments when the power bomb to Anna from the entrance missed. That's what I put down as a scary moment. Those things aside, the match itself was what you would expect from a street fight. It's gotten to the point where it was so funny when Ty pulled out the thumbtacks. Jericho yelled, "That better be a very tiny snake in there." Right? Jericho, I agree with you. I agree with you. There were a few times I winced. I couldn't look at someone. Now, these aren't my favorite matches, especially when the men do them for some reason. I don't understand. But these women, again, they bring it. And it's almost like they always have something to prove. But they, like, Ruby won. Ruby actually got the win for the team, which was an awesome... Like, she did her Destination Unknown, so, like, whatever, the Bray Wyatt move, onto the thumbtacks. So I was like, Ruby, you took most of that, right? But she did it to Ty, because, again, Anna was already gone. Ty gave her the Gotch pile driver through a table. I was like, what are they? I'm like, are they trying to kill themselves here? Did they watch the ladder match last week? Is that's what happened? They just want to kill each other. But yeah, no. If you want to watch a shocking match, and again, as I said, when the women of AEW are put into these like no holds barred matches, they bring it. They really do. And I have to give them credit where credit's due. They bring it. And it's not just the shock factor. They hurt each other out there. So all four of these ladies, again, thankfully, Anna is fine. I'm going to have to put that blame on Willow. That's you. Like, I'm sorry. You're the one supposed to protect that presser. So Willow, she's good. But again, we have to remember, she is not very seasoned. So yeah, Ruby, professional, like she was really good. Ty actually, like, as you said, Ty's been getting a lot better. I noticed, like, she like reversals, everything, the kicks that she puts on people. I'm like, my God, right?
My most improved of the year last year.
She well done, like, bravo to all of these ladies. Yeah, I thought the match was great. Again, so great I couldn't watch certain parts of it. That's how crazy it got at points. I was like, no, just it's too much. But hey, it's not like we get these every week, right? Yeah, so exactly. I'm okay if it's sporadic throughout the year.
So for Forbidden Door, then what we really want to book at this point is Suzu Suzuki and Risa Sera versus Ty Conti and Anna Jay in a death match.
Why
Suzu
not?
Suzuki, Risa Sera being part of Prominence, who are death match
Oh,
specialists.
there you go. Well,
Yes.
it looks like Ty and Anna aren't afraid of doing anything, and props to
Yeah, I'm pretty
with
much
these girls.
gathering that. So
Yeah,
so yeah, I'd love to see that because yeah.
it's
Yeah.
brutal. I have to warn you, it is brutal.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yep. Cool. Well, those sound like some very good matches to be checking out in AEW. So I am going to turn us now to Japan for the Japan report, which for this week will be the Stardom report because, now that New Japan finished off New Year's
Yep.
Dash, there's a bit of a break now. I mean, there's some stuff going on, they're getting hyped up for the Wrestle Kingdom, the second
Yep.
part that's coming up
2 weeks.
I believe
2
this
weeks.
week, so the 17th. Yeah,
Oh, this week.
17th.
It's
Yeah, it's like
this week. Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So which will happen tomorrow. And that's going to feature Noah
Oh
wrestlers
yeah.
versus New Japan wrestlers. So that'll be a good card. Um, but what I watched, of course, for the week, to no surprise to anyone, is a bunch of Stardom cards because they're back in full swing again. But they ran into some trouble in the last week or so when three of their wrestlers went down with COVID, and that was
Mm.
Himeka, Momo Watanabe, and Starlight Kid. Now, Starlight Kid, they have a big event on the 8th, and I'm going to talk about some matches from that. It was in Nagoya, and Starlight Kid was supposed to have a title match against Izumi for the High Speed Championship, or as Mercedes Monet calls Izumi, AZM. Now, to be fair, if you don't know who the person is, and she does write her name as capital A, capital Z, capital M, you might think, oh, that must be pronounced AZM. But it's just a stylized way of writing Izumi. So, yeah, and then she wanted a match against, I believe it was Miyu, and I think she meant to say Mayu, meaning Mayu Iwatani.
Mm.
And yeah, okay. Good job, Mercedes. We'll chalk it up to first day jitters, okay? Anyway. Um, but to return to Stardom, where the real wrestling happens, they did have an event on the 8th in Nagoya, and they had to alter the card because of this. So that title match, of course, didn't happen, which meant Purizumi ended up in the opening Royal Rumble or Battle Royal, which of course Super Strong Stardom Machine won again. For some reason, Super Strong Stardom Machines just win Battle Royals. So anyway,
Their name is Super Strong Stardom Machine.
yes.
All
Oh,
right.
see, I guess this means you never went back and listened to my review of Dream Queendom, did you? Because I talked about the Battle Royal there, where Super Strong Stardom Machine teamed up with Super Strong Giant Stardom Machine at the end to win the Rumble, and then they had it declared a no contest. Or then they had it declared they were first of all they wanted a no contest, and they told the ref not to make it a no contest. They wanted it to be a win for the two Stardom machines. They're both masked. It's Saya Ida and Lady C under masks. That's all it is. And this wrestler only comes out during Rumbles, and I've just
Oh,
learned
okay.
that this is just a thing in Stardom.
Okay.
Super strong Stardom machine. Okay. Anyway, she beat Izumi and won the Rumble. So anyway, but that's not one of my matches that I think you should check out. Hey, you want to go watch the Rumble? I wrote it down as 2.5 stars. So if you
Oh.
want to go check that out, go right ahead. But I'm going to mention three matches from that card that I think are very much worth checking out. And the first one is there's a Triangle Derby going on right now, and this was
Mhm.
one of the matches in that tournament. It is Cosmic Angels, which was Tam Nakano, Natsupoi, and Saki, taking on Prominence, Suzu Suzuki, Risa Sera, and Kurumi Hiiragi. Now, these two, they're the current champions. This match was just phenomenal. I mean, Suzu ends up winning the match by pinning Natsupoi with a bridging back German, which kind of continues the story of Natsupoi running into a lot of trouble early in the year. She's getting pinned an awful lot and beaten down an awful lot right now,
Mhm.
even though she's just showing so much heart, so much strength, so many good moves, right? Like she's amazing in the ring and was amazing in the ring in this, but ended up eating the pin. I mean, it's been a bad year for Cosmic Angels. Meltier loses the titles at Dream Queendom. Tam can't catch a break. She gets a 5-minute match with Kyrie at
Kyrie.
Wrestle Kingdom and eats a pin. It just hasn't been a good year for Tam so far, and her stable. They've got Mina Shirakawa going off with her own little group of Zaya Brookside and Mirai May, which, by the way, Zaya Brookside is suffering from WWE itis, where like when she punches and stuff, it looks like she's barely touching them unless she's using forearm shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but everything else, it's like you can tell she's trying to get back into the swing of doing, but she's okay. She's in amongst the Stardom wrestlers, she's just okay. I'm sure she was a superstar on NXT.
Hmm.
She's
Okay.
okay. Yeah, she also got her ass handed to her by Shuri in a match, which was pretty great, but we won't talk about that one today either. But if you do want to go watch Shuri absolutely destroy Zaya Brookside, by all means, go watch that match. Anyway, I could have watched this match to return to Cosmic Angels versus Prominence much longer. I mean, there were so many good spots in this match. Everyone got their solid stuff, and Suzu hit the tequila shot to Natsupoi. And if you haven't ever seen Suzu Suzuki hit a tequila shot, and I don't mean
Hmm.
an actual shot of tequila, I mean the move, the tequila shot. Go and like look it up. It is an insane move. Now, Natsupoi kicked out of it at 2, but I mean, the move itself is just nuts. It's so innovative. I've never seen anyone else do this move ever. I gave this match 4 stars. I could have watched them go a lot longer. I look forward to any rematches between these two teams, but I'm very glad that Prominence is kicking around in Stardom right now because they're very good. And Suzu Suzuki is now Julia's next opponent, as I announced
Oh.
last week, and I can't wait to see that match in February. So good stuff. And of course, that means they're building up Suzu as well too to like make her look strong as a potential. Well, it's not like they need to make her look strong. Now, one of the benefits of having 3 people down with COVID was they had to reorganize this card, and they took away the co-main event, right? And so you had to keep the fans happy. So what did they do? They put together a random tag team match essentially. And this match was Shuri from God's Eye, and Mayu Iwatani from Stars teaming up to face Maika from Donna Del Mundo and Utami Hayashishita from Queen's Quest. 4 of the best wrestlers. Let me take the women's away from that in the world today,
Oh, wow.
tag teaming against each other. They went to a 30-minute time limit draw in what was an absolutely phenomenal tag team match. The moves, like Mayu Iwatani is just so good at selling. Like you think this woman is dying in the ring, right? And I don't mean like comical selling. I mean the way she screams when she's in submission holds and stuff. Like it's just so believable, right? And it's every woman in it had their moments. They just killed each other for 30 minutes. And the time limit draw came. It was Utami and Mayu in the ring at the end, and Utami nailed the hijack bomb on her, which is like her spinning version of the Razor's Edge, essentially.
Hmm.
And time expired. So, no winner. Amazing stuff. 4.25 stars on this one. I mean, the only thing that didn't make this better was that it was thrown together. So you had a bit of a lack of story coming in, and they had such a comical exchange at the end too, because Mayu announced this new match type she's created that's going to happen at the next event, right? And the other 3 wrestlers no sold it completely. They're like, I'm not interested in your thing. And Utami's like, I want to put together a tag team and challenge Shuri and God's Eye, right? Or no, I guess Shuri challenged Utami, but they're going to have a tag match between God's Eye and Queen's Quest. And then Micah was like, well, I've already got a match at that show. I'm challenging for the Goddess of Stardom title. So I don't care about your little roulette tournament either. So poor Mayu. She stomped off like she was 12 years old or something at the end. So it was pretty great. But yeah, this match, I absolutely loved it. Highly recommended. Go check it out. Amazing moves in it. And the last match, and this was what I was talking about earlier when I talked about how to build up a title challenger, right? Saya Kamatani defending her white belt, the Wonder of Stardom Championship, against Ami Sorai, who she had chosen out as her opponent here in an attempt to, break the defense or tie the defense record. And she does it against a hand-picked opponent that is the current holder of the Future of Stardom Championship. Pretty new in Stardom, kind of a rookie, right? 99.9% chance she's going to be able to beat her. But they built up Ami really well over the last little while. And I mean, she's had some of the best matches of her entire career in the last couple of weeks. And her match against Saya here, great. I mean, it got to the point too. Like it was one of those matches where the story was being told where, it's this up and comer trying to struggle to beat her. But Ami can wrestle
Mhm.
well and she hits hard and she's a strong woman. And Saya can sell exceptionally. Saya is just one of the best wrestlers in the world. Saya sells exceptionally well. It was a great, great match. Saya ends up winning it with the 450 splash, the Firebird splash at the end. She still hasn't used the Phoenix splash since she busted up Mina
Oh,
Shirakawa's face. So there's a story waiting there to be told somewhere. I wonder if they'll ever get to it. But anyway, Ami wrestled really hard, and it was the kind of story where she comes back and tries to come back and kicks out of a lot of stuff, but you can tell she's just getting beaten down at the end and like clawing her way back to her feet by the end of it, and Sai is just taking it to her, and then just hits a few more moves, hits the Firebird splash, and it's over. But yeah, it was really good match, solid match. I'd give it another 4-star match. So we had 3 4 4-star plus matches on this card. Really solid show considering that they had 3 wrestlers down with COVID. I'd
yeah.
recommend checking out the show. Never
Mhm.
mind. I mean, especially, super strong Stardom machine winning the the
The Battle
Stardom
Royale.
Rumble, right? Yeah, you've got to watch Super Strong Stardom Machine. But yeah, so that's my report from Japan this week. I am looking forward to more from the Triangle Derby and other events coming up. Oh, and this sets up too that Saya Kamatani's next challenger, where she goes to beat the record that is held by Momo Watanabe,
Mhm.
is Momo Watanabe.
Oh,
So,
that's actually, yeah, that's good because then you beat the person who holds the record, right?
yep,
To get the new
exactly.
record.
She's tied with her right now, so they're going to go at it.
Nice,
Yep, and
nice.
whoever
Okay,
wins that match.
holds the new record.
Well, no, I mean Momo Watanabe wouldn't be. She'd have to go out and defend the belt like more times now.
Oh yeah,
But
oh
she
she
would
tied. Okay,
stop Saya Kamatani from beating her record.
if if she wins though.
If she wins, it's a good story. I think Saya Kamatani's going to win,
Yeah.
but you never know with Stardom. So, Razi Ogawa was a pretty decent booker. At least he seems to have been the last couple of years. But we now can return from Japan and move on to our matches of the week. I wonder if there's going to be any controversy over this.
I mean, I think the match of the week is it still has to remain game 7, match 7, the Bucks versus the Death Triangle, or so the Elite versus the Death Triangle. I'm very curious where they're going with everything. That's why I'm like, how is it the Bucks just have a tag team match? I mean, I saw that. I was like, Will Ospreay? Is Ospreay is Ospreay coming? What's happening? One can hope, right? One can hope.
Osprey and
Um,
Top Flight? There's a
oh my
team.
god. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's the team. Osprey and those two young guys, man. Like not like Osprey's old, but you know what I mean. Like those two, they're just
The
younger.
Aerial Assassin and Top
So
Flight.
good. He's so good. That would be such an awesome match. Oh my god. The elite would have oh my god, elites. You'd have your hands full in that wet match for sure. Yeah, that hey, who knows? Well, we know that they're fighting on Wednesday, but yeah, it, for me, it's just like again, shout out to the women of AEW this week for putting on such a crazy show, in that street fight or whatever they called it. Um, but yeah, it's match 7 of 7
Yeah,
trios
I'm gonna have to
championship.
agree with you this week. It's got to be that match. But for me, it's so
So
close. Like I
close.
said,
It's
I
close.
said on Dynamite, Konosuke Takeshita and
Hmm.
Bryan Danielson, that was such a good match.
It was.
And I gotta give the shout to that tag match too at the Nagoya event between Mayu and Shuri
Yeah,
tagging
there
up
you go.
against Utami and Micah, right? Great, great, great match. The only reason it's not going to quite get there was no winner, time limit draw, which isn't necessarily a total drawback, but you get a winner, it tells a bit more story, and the lack of story going into the match in the first place. It was literally a thrown together match for the card, right? So because of that, I'm gonna have to give it to the Elite versus Death Triangle, match 7, where the Elite are now the rightful holders once again
Once again,
of the belts.
it's true. It's
Yep.
true.
And this, of course, leads us into our wrestler of the week.
So I'm gonna do what Kenny did and break character out of once the camera's turned off after Dynamite, and he told the fans to give it up to all the guys, including the Death Triangle, and they all stood at the ramp and waved, which I thought was pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna cheat a bit and I'm gonna give it to all six guys. I think what they did for 7 matches. I don't know. I don't know what to say. What they put their bodies through, like Omega, you can give it to Omega every week if you want to. And after his showing with Osprey, then coming back and doing this match, and anyways, but no, these guys, like all six guys, they could win wrestler of the week every week if they keep wrestling like this, right? So yeah, I think that they all deserve, like, who knows what storylines are going to come out of this now, who knows where we're going, but yeah, I'm giving it to all six of these guys. They are the wrestlers of the week, just because what they've done for the past 2 months. 2 months, almost three, yeah, almost 2.5 months, right? So
Yep.
yeah.
Well, I'm going to deviate from yours. As much as I think that's an excellent choice, and I could totally have made the same choice, I'm going to go with our other boy, Konosuke Takeshita.
Takeshita. All
Yep.
right.
After wrestling in PWG for so many straight matches, then to come straight to AEW and put on the match that he put on with Bryan Danielson in a match that for me almost stole
Stole it.
away the
Almost stole it.
show from the Elite versus Death Triangle, right?
Yep.
And just such an absolutely amazing match. And to win the fans over the way he has with his style, to stand up to MJF, who's getting, we're not the only ones, it seems, that
No,
think his promos and stuff have
people
gone
were
into the
angry.
flusher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They commented on, they're like, is racism really needed? I was like, oh wow,
Mhm.
okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Well, precisely. And it's not just that, it's just his promos are boring. They're just
Yeah,
boring. Like you keep
well,
saying, they're just like boring
generic.
old style heel
Yeah,
promos. There's nothing to them. He's
generic.
lost his spark. Um,
He's lost his spark.
he has. Maybe he should go on a quest for his spark.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, to get back to real wrestlers like Konosuke Takeshita, yes, he gets my wrestler of the week just because just such a phenomenal showing. And that deadlift move he did in that match, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
my God. There was even some guy who tried to claim it was a botch. I'm like, no, no, man.
No.
Like have a look at that. He totally stopped the roll through and then
And
deadlifted
picked
him
him up.
back.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
amazing, amazing wrestling skill there. So, and the kid's got nowhere to go but
But
up.
well, I'm waiting for the inevitable Omega versus Takeshita, right? It's coming soon. You know it's coming soon. And that
Wow.
day, I'm probably gonna give the wrestler of the week probably to Takeshita, because that's gonna be quite the showing.
Oh, you can't. If Omega's in a match against, there's no way you're not going to go both
You
these
don't know
guys.
that.
Both
Listen,
these
you
guys.
listen. What if Omega wrestles the same way he wrestled against, like, the heel wrestling he did
Hmm.
against
Hmm.
Osprey, right?
Yeah.
And Takeshita comes out, like, what Takeshita can do, all these
Yeah.
things, and he comes out and has a great showing, right? Because remember, Takeshita versus Hangman, it was
Hmm.
Takeshita
Yeah.
versus Mox, Takeshita, right? So I'm just
Hmm.
saying these guys are good.
Yep.
Takeshita just adds something, and I don't know what it is, but he just adds something. And I'd be willing to give the wrestler of that match to Takeshita
Interesting.
based on
Well,
what comes out of
let's
it.
hope we get a chance to find out.
Well,
Exactly. But for now, do you have any parting thoughts for us?
yeah, my parting thoughts is, what's happening on Wednesday? Why is Omega not there?
Maybe he needed a week off after,
Maybe he needed a
yeah,
week
I
off.
mean, he
You're
just might need some time off,
right.
like seriously. So
True.
I would chalk it up more to that than anything else. I'm sure he'll be there in their corner or something. So
Osprey.
Osprey's in England.
Damn it. That's right. He's at Rev Pro.
Yeah, he's doing the
I
whole
forgot.
Rev Pro thing right
Mhm.
now. So yeah, Osprey's nowhere near there. Jay White. Jay White comes out and helps out Top Flight. Worst plot ever.
Might as well have Satnam Singh come out.
Oh, come on. Jay White's better than
The
Satnam
lights
Singh.
go out and Satnam Singh is just in the ring again.
That will still go down as one of the worst reveals in AEW history, where Tony Khan learned the lesson of telling us he had a big surprise in store. Yeah. Thanks, Tony. Thanks.
Oh man.
But we shall talk about more of this on Wednesday.
All right.
But for now, as the great one always says, goodbye, everybody. Mwah! And good night. Bang.
Night, everyone.